Hey, I mentioned a couple months ago I met a guy a few towns over who's got thousands of records in his house that he's trying to sell. He's selling some online. He's an older gentleman. A lot of these records are rock and roll from the 50s. Um, and so I went over the other day, cash in hand. Universe Rockaton, rockabilly guys doing all songs with a space theme. Um, a lot of stuff I don't know because a lot of these concerts with rockabilly guys, there's just an ocean of people who put out 45s back in the day who never even released proper albums. I got a rocket in my pocket. The Jimmy Liggins song is being done by Stan Beaver. I don't know if that's a made-up name or not, but you get the idea. Sputnik, Rock on Mars, Orbit Twist. It's all outer space themed rockabilly with a cool cover. California Jump Blues on Ace. Ace, the British label that did so many great compilations. I remember when I was buying CDs in the early 90s, Ace was the king before Rhino was the king of compilations. A compilation of Jump Blues, stuff from the 40s, usually small combo with horns, big up-tempo stuff, precursor to rock and roll. I love Jump Blues, so this is just Ace, Jump Blues, win-win. Shouters on Savoy. It's a 2-record set of Shouters. Again, this is going to be Jump Blues as well on the Savoy label. And he had 4 albums of instrumentals. I do have an instrumental section here at the North Jersey Vinyl Sanctuary, and I love getting in. Sometimes you just don't want to hear people sing. You just give me the rock and roll instrumental. 14 wild guitar instrumentals. What's this called? Guitar Runaway. Excellent. Listened to it already. Tough stuff. This is Sun Instrumentals, Sun Gold, and it has, there's no list of people on the front. Oh yeah, Bill Justice, Sonny Burgess, Jerry Lee Lewis, Sun Instrumentals. Original early rock instrumentals. This is going to be, I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. And I haven't listened to this one either. Rare, wild, primitive, early rock instrumentals. Again, fantastic. You don't see this kind of stuff in the bins all the time. Ronnie Dawson, he was a rockabilly guy in Texas in the 50s, and he had a really high voice, and he had a couple singles, Rockin' Bones, action-packed. Dick Clark's Swan label signed him. He was a regional success in Texas, and that was about it. The label went bust because of the payola scandal. He disappeared, was doing food jingles and things like that, odds and ends, until 1986, No Hit Records in England decided to give him a shot, revive his career. Now, by this point, his high voice, when he was a teenager singing these rockabilly songs in Texas, his high voice had dropped. He had a growl, hell of a guitar player. So he put out a record in 86, 88, 89, 94, and 96. He did 3 on the British No Hit label. Then he went to Upstart Records, then finally on Yep Rock, before he died in 2003 at the age of 64. I had the pleasure of seeing him in New York City in 96 or 95, somewhere around there. Again, drop voice, growling, killer guitar player, put on an amazing show, in the top 10 of best shows I've ever seen in my life. Ronnie Dawson, I really regret not seeing him again. I guess he lived in Texas maybe, so he just didn't come to the city that often. But if you get a chance, explore later years Ronnie Dawson. If you like rockabilly, this guy's fantastic. And this will cost you. You're not going to find it in the States. I had to get this from Europe. It's Ronnie Dawson on the BBC. The John Peel sessions, 93 and 94. This is what I heard in a bar in Manhattan in the 90s. You have to get it off Discogs. The Trashmen, one of the most famous surf groups of all time. Everybody knows the first single, Surfin' Bird. It was a blast of garage rock with crazy distorted vocals over the top, howling Papa Ooh Mau Mau. Well, actually the song is a combination of 3 songs from the R&B group band the Rivingtons, Papa Ooh Mau Mau, Mama Ooh Mau Mau, and The Bird's the Word. Well, the Trashmen combined all 3 of those songs into Surfin' Bird for their only album, 1964. They released 1 album. This, Bird Dance Beat, is a collection of like outtakes and early singles before their first album was released. Everybody should have their first album. I don't, and I just ordered it, so. And look at this, man. I was running a record store in the city when this came out on CD, and the New York Times reviewed it, and everybody had to have the Robert Johnson 2 CD box set. He was one of the most well-known blues artists. He Rambling on My Mind by Clapton, Sweet Home Chicago. He does Love in Vain. The Stones covered that. Crossroads. Goes on and on. This is a nice set, 3 LP set. Finally picked it up from this oldies guy. I don't know what I was waiting for, but there you go. And moving right along, Lee Hazelwood apparently in 1964 did an instrumental surf record with the LA studio musicians, the Wrecking Crew, who were just on every record from the 60s and the 70s, called the Woodchucks. Lee Hazelwood's Woodchucks, all instrumental surf group, all instrumental surf record from 64. It's fantastic. His song, 2 versions of Baja, I think one of the greatest surf songs ever written by Lee Hazelwood. And I am one of the biggest Lee Hazelwood fans, certainly in Jersey, maybe the world. We're checking that out. So I don't know why this came out in 2018. Why I'm just getting it now, I don't know. One of my favorites, film composers, Piero Umiliani. I just picked this up. This is a 1968 soundtrack to a spy movie, and it's typical Umiliani stuff. It's very 60s sounding, which is a good thing, and it's firmly rooted in jazz and bossa nova, so add it to the list. I've got a ton of Piero records. Another volume of stomping. I was talking about this. This is wild ass blues, rock and roll, and R&B. I think there's like 26, maybe 30, maybe 36 volumes of stomping. You see them periodically in the record stores, maybe one here, one there. I've got 1 through 5 now. I just got 4. I ordered this from Discogs and got it the other day. Excellent collection. If you're looking for a party compilation, you can't go wrong with stomping. Back to surf. The Lively Ones, one of the best surf bands in 1963. Typical reverb, Fender reverb drenched guitar sound. They put out 4 records in 1963. How many records did you put out in 1963? See what I mean? After that, they did a Latin surf record in 64, and that was about it. But this is, and their first and second and fourth record are not easy to come by. Apparently, if they have been reissued from the original pressing, which original pressings of surf records are impossible to find and they cost a fortune, and we're still putting kids through college, so. But I was lucky enough to find this, which is an original. Oh, gotta watch the cover with this one. Frolic Diner, my new favorite compilation of it is instrumental exotica from the 50s and mid to early 60s. I got Frolic Diner here, volume 5, and covering up, inappropriate cover, volume 2. Just Google it and listen to some samples online. If you're looking for some fun party instrumental records, a little on the wacky, maybe risque side, but how risque can an instrumental get? Frolic, F-R-O-L-I-C, Diner. There's 6 volumes. I've got all of them except 6. And finally, one of the great joys in my life is Chet Baker on Steeplechase. Chet Baker, everybody knows, is legendary jazz guy, West Coast cool sound. I, as a young man, much preferred the East Coast harder sound. So I came to Chet late in life, but then discovered these later in life Chet records. When, you know, he sounded like he was on his last leg. He lived a rough life, a lot of substance abuse. His voice was not in top form, but neither was Billie Holiday's near the end of her life. And, you know, Lady in Satin people consider a classic. Chet did 8 records for Steeplechase. They're all like guitar and bass accompaniment, maybe piano accompaniment. There's 1 or 2 with Paul Bly, just him and piano. He sings on half the cuts, just plays trumpet on the other half. They're elegant despite his withered state, and I think they're really special records. And I have 4 of them, so I've got more work to do to get the other 4. Don't often see them in the bins, although these were reissued in new 180 gram. I don't know when they were reissued. Came out in 82. Anyway, good luck finding them. Chet on Steeplechase. Enjoyable stuff. That's it.